Remember the childhood game called 20 Questions? You get 20 chances to guess a hidden thing by asking the right questions. Life is like that game, but the mystery is about finding out who you really are and where you belong in the world. When you feel confused, hurt, or stuck, you might want to find clear answers. But real change can happen when you start asking different questions instead. This book helps you think about some of life's hardest questions, like figuring out your true self or what makes life meaningful. It shows how the questions you ask can either keep you stuck or help you live your best life. Who am I when no one is watching? This question can trouble you late at night when you are all alone with your thoughts. Maybe you grew up in a home where your feelings didn't matter, or where you had to hide who you really were. You learned to make yourself smaller and quieter to fit in. Why am I like this? This question can make you feel ashamed, as if your ways of coping were bad, instead of smart ways to protect yourself. For example, Lisa grew up afraid of her father's anger. She always stayed alert for danger and wished she could disappear. Even now, as an adult, she feels small and tries not to speak up. She was taught that being noticed could be dangerous, so she became invisible. But what if the things you don't like about yourself actually show how strong you are? Your sensitivity could be a kind of wisdom, not a weakness. Your caution kept you safe, even when being bold would have hurt you. Experiencing trauma doesn't just hurt you, it breaks you into pieces. You might lose touch with who you really are because staying connected felt too risky. Many people survive by splitting away from their true selves. How do you know you have lost yourself? You feel like nothing fits right, like you are a stranger in your own life. Why can't I just be happy? This question thinks happiness should be normal, and that if you struggle with yourself, you are broken. But maybe your questions are not a problem, but a sign you are waking up. Feeling unhappy with a false version of yourself means the real you wants to be heard. To find help in tough questions, try changing them a little. Instead of asking, "Why am I like this?" try asking, "What am I protecting?" Sometimes what looks like bad habits are really ways you protect yourself. Instead of asking, "Why can't I just be happy?" ask, "What would feel real and true right now?" Change "who should I be" to "who am I becoming?" These new questions help you find your values and beliefs. Make these questions part of your daily life. When you feel lost, stop and ask what feels true at this moment. Talk to friends you trust and ask who they see in you. Sometimes others help you find parts of yourself you forgot or never saw. Your identity is not a puzzle to crack, but a conversation to have with yourself and with people who accept you as you are growing. Why is this happening to me? This question comes from deep confusion and pain. When life breaks your plans, brings loss suddenly, or feels unfair, this question cries out to the universe. You want to know why good people suffer, why bad things happen to those who try hard, why the world seems so cruel. It often goes with another question. What did I do to deserve this? This idea says good behavior earns protection and bad choice brings punishment. Mashiko believed this when he got cancer at 43. He thought he must have done something wrong. He looked for reasons in his past to explain his suffering. But pain is not always punishment. Sometimes bad things happen because life is hard and random. People get sick, accidents happen even to careful people, and hearts break even when we love deeply. How can I make sense of this? People want to understand our experiences and connect them to a bigger story that makes sense. When hard things break that story, we feel lost, not only because of what happened, but also because we don't know why. Does everything happen for a reason? Some believe everything has a reason, and pain teaches us lessons. Others think this idea makes pain smaller or forces us to find meaning in things that have none. The truth can be in between. Some things have reasons, some don't, and some become meaningful because of how we respond. Instead of asking why this is happening, ask how can I respond to it? This shifts your focus from finding reasons outside to finding your own power inside. Instead of asking what did I do to deserve this, ask what do I need right now? This helps move from blaming yourself to caring for yourself. Instead of needing a reason for everything, think about what meaning you can create. Your pain doesn't need a purpose to be real. Your struggle doesn't need a lesson to matter. Sometimes the best thing you can do when life seems meaningless is to keep going, reach out to others, and let your survival be a gift to those who are also hurting. How do I move forward when I don't know what comes next? This question shows when you face the unknown and feel stuck. Maybe you lost a job, ended a relationship, or got news that changed your life. The future feels invisible, and you wait for answers that don't come. You might also ask, how can I know if I'm making the right choice? But this idea assumes one perfect answer exists. The right choice is not perfect. It is the best choice you can make now, and you change it as you learn more. Waiting for certainty is waiting forever. How do I start when everything feels too much? Big changes need small steps, but this question can trap you in planning and preparing so much that you don't start. It's better to start even if it's not perfect. When do I know I am ready? You think readiness is a feeling, a moment when you feel confident to act. Marcus waited 3 years to leave his bad job because he never felt ready. But readiness is not a feeling you wait for. It's a choice you make. How do I move when I feel afraid? Fear feels like a stop sign, but it often points to what matters most. We fear losing or failing at what we care about deeply. Instead of worrying about the future, ask what one small step you can take now. Instead of asking if a choice is perfect, ask what choice feels true to you. This way, you move from trying to be perfect to being real. The power in these questions is not finding perfect answers, but realizing you have more wisdom than you think. Start by doing one small thing that feels right. Trust that the path appears as you walk it, not by just looking at it from far away. Am I enough? This question quietly comes when you compare your life to others' perfect pictures. It comes when you scroll social media, enter rooms full of strangers, or see people who seem to have it all. It feels simple, but holds deep struggle. Why do I always feel like I'm not good enough? Feeling not good enough does not mean you actually aren't. It's part of being human. Moira thought she was behind because her friends married and bought homes while she was still figuring things out. But maybe she just has her own timing. What if people really knew me? This question shows a fear that your worth depends on pretending to be perfect. You worry if they saw your struggles, they might reject you. But real connection happens because of our imperfect parts. How can I be confident when I feel insecure? Confidence is not feeling no doubt. It's acting even when you doubt. It's not believing you're perfect, but that you are brave enough to try. Why do I need so much approval? This question often carries shame, as if needing approval means weakness. But people are made to connect and be seen. The problem is not needing approval, but seeking it from people who cannot give you what you really need. Instead of asking, "Am I enough?" ask what makes you feel most like yourself. Instead of, "Why do I always feel like I'm falling short?" ask, "What would happen if you trusted yourself more?" These changes help you move from comparing to caring for yourself. You don't have to earn your worth by doing things perfectly. You are enough because of who you are. Start with that truth and let it guide you. Some questions stop you before you even try. Like, what if I fail? This question whispers when you think about applying for jobs, having tough talks, or taking risks. Fear of failure feels so real that you might treat it like fact and stop trying. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the way to it. What if I'm making a big mistake? This question thinks mistakes are forever and terrible. but mistakes are just lessons and ways to learn. David worried for months about moving to another city for work. He imagined everything going wrong and froze, but he was already living a life where he never tried. What if I'm not ready? This question sees readiness as a must, but readiness grows by doing. It also hides another question: what if things get worse? Fear hides the good possibilities. Things might get worse or better or stay the same. But if fear controls you, nothing will change. What if I succeed? This question surprises many because fear of success can stop you just like fear of failure. Success means change, responsibility, and new challenges. It asks you to be someone new, which can scare and excite. But what if questions can open doors? What if it goes better than you hope? What if you learn something important? These deserve your attention too. To stop fear, ask, what if I don't try? This changes failure into regret. Instead of what if I make a mistake, ask, what can I learn? Being ready might mean starting before you feel ready. The most important what if question is this: what if what I fear most is what I need to do? Your fears often show where you grow most. This book, We Can Do Hard Things by Glennon Doyle, Abby Wambach, and Amanda Doyle, shows that hard moments strip us down to who we are. The right questions help us move through pain. Asking better questions changes self-judgment into self-understanding. Replacing "why am I like this" with "what am I protecting" turns shame into kindness to yourself. And asking, what makes me feel most like myself, moves you from needing approval to knowing yourself. The questions that feel like breaking you often are the ones helping you grow. You don't need all the answers, just the courage to keep asking better questions. That's the full message of this book. You can use this calm, gentle way of asking questions to help you through tough times and find your way.